Hey everybody, Pastor Dan here. I am actually coming at you from the elementary Sunday school room here in the church. If it's a little echoey, excuse the audio. It's a very echoey room. But I want to take a couple minutes here in the first forward to tell you all about an exciting new book study we're offering this summer of this book, Telling God's Story. It's a thin little volume, and this is basically the introduction for parents and volunteers of the new kids Sunday school curriculum we're going to be starting in the fall, which is also called Telling God's Story. Now, this group is going to be starting this Sunday, June 6th, right after church. It's going to run for 8 weeks. It's going to be an awesome time. It is primarily geared toward parents, guardians of kids who are in our Sunday school program, and children's ministry volunteers. But this is really a study that I believe anybody can benefit from. And if you're watching this video and even the slightest bit interested, I would love for you to check this out. Now, there's two main reasons for that. One, I really believe, especially in a small church like ours, that discipling kids, discipling the next generation of our church is the responsibility of the entire church. Whether you have a kid in the program or not, whether you are volunteering and serving with kids on Sunday mornings or not, this is something that all of us should be at least somewhat attuned to, because it's all our responsibility. It takes a village, right? It takes a church to come along families and really help and shepherd them and partner with parents in raising their kids in the faith. So I think it's good for everyone in the church to be at least somewhat aware of what we're teaching the kids on Sunday mornings. But also, and this might be a bigger reason, I'm not sure if you know this, but most people, most Christians generally, don't advance a whole lot beyond what we learned about God and the Bible as kids in Sunday school. You know, it was in Sunday school for many of us, especially if you grew up in church. That's where you learned the basics. That's where you learned about Jesus. That's where you learned songs like Jesus Loves Me, and went to vacation Bible school and learned the Bible stories like Noah's Ark and things like that. That's the foundation for a lot of our faith. I think probably most of our faith was sown as kids in Sunday school. And that's a great thing. That's a beautiful thing. But there is also some bad sides to that, some downsides to that. This book specifically is trying to address some of the negative sides of how we've been teaching the Bible to kids for the past 50, 60 years. Largely a storybook approach where Bible stories are presented almost like fairy tales with a nice little moral attached to it. You take out all the violence and all the rough stuff, and Noah's Ark becomes God takes care of your family or something like that, which works when you're a little kid. And maybe you've had this experience. You grow up, you experience life a little bit, and the kind of fairy tale Bible story faith you got as a kid no longer works for you. This curriculum, Telling God's Story, is really trying to correct that with a Jesus-centered approach to teaching kids the Bible. And honestly, I can say that as an adult, I learned a lot from reading this book. I think we can all learn a lot, maybe discover a new, deeper grounding for our faith, a grounding that's honestly much more in line with a mature faith, the faith that will hopefully serve our kids well as adults, and that will hopefully serve us well too. So that is the basics of this study, Telling God's Story. It starts this Sunday, June 6th, right after church. It's going to run for 8 weeks. If you look under this video in the first forward, you should find a link to a PDF where you can download the first chapter of this book if you want to check it out. There's also a link to where you can purchase the book. So check it out. If it seems interesting to you, if it piques your interest, join us this Sunday. It's going to be a great time. I will see you there. Grace and peace.